It's So Real family. It's your girl Rocqi from the It's So Real podcast. I had to think a moment because this is not a Rocky's reactions, nor is this a podcast episode. This is me responding to the Haterade. Okay. So remember, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. So one of the things that Oso and I talked about on the It's a Real podcast, as far as the challenges moving forward, is our podcast growing in attention and getting the haterade. And I told him that I struggle with getting those comments and not taking it in, like not taking those hits. He's been preparing me for a while as far as my boundaries, not reading the comments, not feeling like I have to respond to the comments, understanding the mindset of the commenter and their experiences, their emotions, their projections, all of that good stuff, right? So he has been prepping me for our growth, but I do realize that, like, yeah, I need better boundaries, right? And understanding of where I need better internal boundaries, not necessarily external. Like, I need to not let it in, you know? That being said, so I was on a poly group and polyamorous. I don't really say polyam in real life. I write it, but I don't say it. Polyam group. And I was promoting It's a Real podcast because I am polyamorous. Also, he's ethically non-monogamous. Sometimes he identifies more with polyamory, but I think he's still growing in that journey of identity and figuring it out. But I definitely identify as polyamorous, okay? We're also both marriage and family therapists, right? And I also find it funny when people who are not trained professionals like to put their input like they are trained professionals, like they do this for their daily living. What? It's so fascinating. Anyways, so somebody watched one of our polyam videos. I think it's called Dating More Than One Man. And they basically came for Oso, right? And I was like, whoa, pump your brakes. Assumptions are being made here. You're watching a 30-minute clip out of a full episode, not accounting for any of our other content that shows any of our growth, our relationship, our polyamory journey, nothing. You just coming from your experiences, your emotions, and putting your viewpoint on what we're saying. Okay, so I decided to come here and clarify, okay? I understand that some of you wouldn't be able to have a dynamic such as mine. That's why you're not in it. Okay? Secondly, there's one thing about restricting a partner, like you can't do this, versus I'm not okay with this. And if you do this, I don't know if we're compatible anymore. Does that make sense? So say we just had a conversation, Oso and I, the other day. He was talking about how many artists are in Atlanta and talking about, you know, those possibilities. I chose Oakland to live. So the only place I'm moving is like other areas in the Bay. But outside of that, I want to move abroad. I don't want to move to another place in this country. I came to Oakland individually by myself for a reason, right? So when he was talking about Atlanta, I was like, you can travel there. We can write it off as a part of the businesses. But it ain't gonna work for me, bruh. So that being said, if he were to decide he wants to move, power to him. And I'm not gonna hold him back. But yes, that's gonna impact our relationship, right? And that's the thing many people don't understand with life partnership. You have to be compatible in your future vision for your life. Like that shit has to align, okay? And that being said, some men are within the understanding of themselves that they would prefer not to be in a dynamic with a woman who is dating multiple men. Know yourself. Be aware of that. Be honest with yourself. That's okay. All right? Now, just because you prefer that don't mean you have the audacity to say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that because of the shit that I prefer. All you can do, all that is within your control is say, hey, this is where I am, this is where I need, this is what I have the capacity for. If we don't align, if we're not compatible, then maybe this isn't working, and that's okay. Ain't nobody holding each other back. Go on. You can do you, you know? And people had the audacity to say it's manipulative and stuff like that. And I'm like, one, who treats trauma on the daily? So irritating. But anyways, let me be specific about my relationship though. I have told Oso plenty of times, if I choose to date multiple men, he would have to grow in that area. As polyamory is a commitment to emotional growth. And men, if a woman that you are dating or connecting with is dating multiple men, yes, you're going to have to grow emotionally, okay? Just like I had to do when my partner was dating other women. That shit hurt. That shit had jealousy and insecurity. I had to grow through that, right? But I was committed to that process. And I said, hey, if I choose to do this, you going to have to do that work, okay? There are plenty of episodes where I actually say that on air, not to mention off air. But you want to judge off 30 minutes versus over 100 videos on YouTube and over 100 podcast episodes. Anyways. So yeah. That's where he's at. I've said, hey, if I choose to do this, you're going to have to grow, or it's not working for me. Because I'm not going to stay in an environment where you're not doing that work. Growth is key. All right. However, last year, Oso and I started our relationship with the understanding that I would be dating other women. However, last year, I was still growing in my bisexuality. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, my experiences with non-monogamy before Oso were all with men, right? So I was like, well, wait, just because I am bisexual, just because I am polyamorous doesn't mean that I won't want another man, right? I won't want to connect with another man. And then I allowed myself to be open to the experience. Because we've already discussed boundaries, Oso and I have already discussed boundaries, he doesn't want any details, right? So I allowed myself to be open. I flirted. I talked both on Facebook and dating apps. And I realized, I don't really want to connect with other men. I am still physically attracted to men. I like looking at them. I like flirting with them. Do I want to be penetrated by them? No, I have enough penetration in my house from my partner. Do I enjoy their conversations? Mental stimulation is my thing, so yes. But we could just be friends for that. Like, polysaturation. I am polysaturated after 2 primary partners, okay? That means I only have the capacity, I only have the energy for 2 primary partners, okay? So that being said, it's like, 1, I don't want any more sex. Now, if it was an asexual man, maybe that would be further conversation. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be with another man. Like, I allowed myself to be open just to clarify within my own spirit what I wanted. Again, he's not controlling me, nor manipulating me, nor abusing me. The fuck? I am my own free and autonomous person, capable of my own choices and decisions. And, so I allowed myself to be open, and I was like, I went through this before. I went through dating men before. And I understand there's levels to this shit. I understand that there are plenty of good guys who I am not compatible with. But my life partner is someone I'm compatible with. This is why I chose him. Because we align on a variety of areas that I both wanted, desired, needed, and those I didn't even expect. Like, I manifested my dream man. Check out Life is Rocqi, that episode that I talk about it in my Becoming a Feminine Woman series, okay? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, He's not replaceable for sure. I recognize that because, again, I dated men for what, a decade? And yeah, he's rare. Okay. As far as just our values aligning, our vision aligning, he's just fucking rare. Okay. And then I'm sitting here interacting with these men and I'm like, yeah, I just want to be with a woman. Like, I was in denial for 26 years about my sexuality. Why would I spend any more time on other men? Women are amazing. You know? And we do date separately. Okay. So it's not, I do not want to try it. All right. I'm very clear in that. We tried it. I didn't like it. I am very clear. I do not want to try it. If he wants to try it with one of his other partners, feel free, baby. But it ain't with me. Okay. Now, if I grow in that area, we'll see. I don't see it happening right now. But hey, it's all a journey, baby. But yeah, right now, at least, yeah, I think what's happening is because I never had a relationship with a woman, I don't want to be in a triad dynamic for my first relationship with a woman. Now, once I have that fulfilled, maybe I'll be more open, but for right now, it's a no, okay? Like, no. I want my relationship to be my own. I don't want to have to consider my life partner, nor, like, he's a leader in our relationship. I don't want him to be a leader in my relationship with a woman. Does that make sense? Like, I want it to be us. That makes sense? And if he's totally not in the relationship, then, you know, that works. But yeah. And I think also people don't understand that this is a growth journey. Like, you understand yourself, you understand your relationship, you understand your other experiences with people. Like, we're still human, right? Like, we're still growing, we're still learning. We're not perfect. Right? Oh, okay. But yeah, back to me understanding that I really just want to be with a woman. The more I recognize what my life partner doesn't fulfill, as well as I'm experiencing women, understanding what I desire from a woman, I'm like, the way that I wake up when I'm with a woman, it's like I'm embracing my truest self. This is who I was always meant to be. Like, I think if I weren't to have my other primary partner as a woman, like if I dated a man, I feel like I would be unfulfilling my life. Like, I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't have my other partner be a woman. That's how much I feel whole, essentially, when I'm with a woman. And I understand my scale as far as my attraction to men and women. And I am more attracted, especially sexually attracted, to women. But also there's that romantic aspect as well, and emotional aspect as well. So that being said, I understand that the dynamic with Oso and I would not work for everybody. One, you were interested in dating multiple men. So someone who still needs to grow in that area, someone who would prefer that women who didn't, that kind of thing. I understand that that's not your ideal dynamic, but don't put your shit on me. All right. I have choices. I'm a grown ass woman. Like, I don't understand y'all not acknowledging the fucking choices you have. Okay. You are a grown ass woman capable of your own damn decisions. Okay. This whole manipulation and shit. Know yourself, know your boundaries, voice and advocate for yourself, and choose what you want out of life. If I didn't want this, I wouldn't be in it. Okay? And trust me, check out some previous episodes. I think Hindsight is 2020 year in review. We were struggling last year. We was going through it. Why? Because we had some incompatibilities that I didn't expect. And I really questioned it. Okay? I was like, do I want to be with him? And the only reason I stayed was because of my commitment, because that's honor and value for me. But so while I was in that process, but I was like, the amount of compatibility versus the amount of incompatibility isn't worth leaving a person to me, especially within the context of ethical non-monogamy, when those incompatibilities can still be met or can be compatible with someone else. Right? We have a sexual incompatibility. He has a way higher sex drive I cannot fulfill. Please go get that met. And then somewhat of an emotional incompatibility, just on certain areas. It's not all. And then a sensual incompatibility. Again, I have a higher sensual need than a sexual need, whereas his is higher sexual need. As well as just some different interests type of thing. So yeah, I really had to question. And a lot of people in this day and age, they get up and leave without question. It's easy. It's easy to do that. Oh, something isn't working, let me go. But for me, I was like, there is so much that aligns with this man. And again, I've been dating men for a solid decade. So he's not my total, complete fantasy. But this isn't Disney. This is real life. And I say that on my Life is Rocqi channel. Like, you can't just build a man. He's not going to be everything you want. And ethical non-monogamy allows for people not to be everything you want. That's a toxic monogamy fucking mentality. That you got to be 100% of my everything. No. You're human. And you're not going to be my all. And that's okay. I'm not asking him to. I had to figure out that he wasn't and stop being mad at him for him. And that's where I realized where my expectations were. But yeah. Like, ooh, get some water. But yeah, I realized, yeah, we're not totally compatible. And there's still like 80-20. He meets 80% of my needs. But that 20% is still needs. Like, it ain't just going to the wayside. Like, it still needs, right? But within monogamy, they accept 20% of your needs just ain't going to get met. Whereas in non-monogamy, you can be like, oh, well, I can still connect with other people, right? Now, not to say that my woman partner only needs to meet 20%. I'd prefer, maybe 60. I don't know. I'm realizing that I want different things from a man than a woman. But again, at the end of the day, I understand if this is not your ideal dynamic. That's why you ain't in it. Stop putting your shit on me. But yes, understand that I'm aware of my choices. I'm aware of what works for me. And this works for me. Because at the end of the day, yes, if I did choose to date other men, he would have to grow in that. Or we would have to transition our relationship. But at the end of the day, I don't want to. If I'm a date, I want to date women. Like, I don't know what to tell you people. It's exhausting dating men. Like, not to say that there aren't plenty of good black men out there. There are. I'm with one of them. And I don't know what he's going to do as far as the women that he's with. I don't know how that's going to work. I really don't. But, because I don't mind if my partner has other partners. Like, my woman partner has male partners and whatnot. Or women partner. I don't give a shit. But yeah. And I'm committed to doing the emotional growth work that it takes to not have any insecurities or jealousies, things like that. But for him, it was like, this dynamic works for him. He chose this. And I was unaware of the reason he was choosing this. And once I found out, that's when I questioned myself and what I wanted, and if I wanted this, and if I did want to date multiple men. But then I realized I didn't. I was like, listen, I got limited capacity here, limited energy. Romantic relationships take a lot of energy, so 2 max. And then am I going to be wanting to be with 2 men for the rest of my life? Hell no. I want a woman. I want to be with a woman. I'm so damn excited to be with a woman. It's different. Like my one queer friend, she was like, she's polyam too. She was like, sleeping with a man is like sleeping with a brick. Because she had been consistently with women. And I get it. Women are soft and squishy. It's just a different energy. And then I like feminine dominant energy women, as well as feminine presenting or femme presenting women. So like the love that a woman gives to a man, I would like to receive from a woman. Because it's just a different type of love. It's a different type of energy. I would love to have that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, don't put your shit on me. If this is not your ideal dynamic, don't be in it. Simple as that. Like, you got choices. Like, I don't understand people. It's really annoying too. Choose your peace. Choose your happiness. Choose to surround yourself and and allow the people in your life that contribute to your happiness. And if they don't, drop them. Like this whole, I'ma hold on because of the connection. Connection don't mean shit when you're looking at compatibility. And if you wouldn't be compatible with Oso, that's okay. That is okay. Jindena was on the Breakfast Club talking about how he was with a woman who was dating multiple men and he had to grow in that shit. And I watched that with Oso. And I was like, yeah, you would have to do that if I date multiple men. But that's where I'm at, beautiful people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Depending on the vibe you giving me, I may or may not read them. Protection of self, boundaries, okay? But yeah, just thought I'd put this out. You really also have to realize you don't know people. You think you know them because you watch them, you feel the energy flow, you may watch consistently, but you don't know people, okay? We have whole ass lives outside of this camera. And we have a whole ass relationship outside of this camera. Like, why you think you know us? So preparing for this growth in our podcast is going to be interesting. Because people out here got time. Like, how often do people comment in positive vibes versus negative? Shit, me, myself, and I. Like, if I'm commenting something positive, it really got to be like a strong reaction, right? Whereas like if I'm questioning something or I disagree, quick with it. And other people are the same. You got to take it with a grain of salt. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the love. And to the person who was throwing the haterade, yes, I saw that you liked our podcast. Thank you so much for the support. Please subscribe. Take care.